Hello, this is Teresa for Urban Seedling. Here we are back at my home garden. There's a couple things I wanted to point out this week. One, for clients who got a replant this year, this last year's clients, you have garlic, and you should by now probably have garlic scapes. This is a garlic scape, it's the garlic flower. You need to take these garlic scapes off. Because if you let the garlic go to flower, then it won't use its energy to make a nice big garlic bulb. But also because garlic scapes are absolutely delicious, and if you buy them in the market, they're horrendously expensive. But you have all sorts of garlic scapes here. Saute them, chop them up for any kind of sauce or salad dressing. They're really considered a specialty dish. So eat your garlic scapes. I think it's about time, if you, like me, have any lettuce left in the garden, you'll see that it's gotten very tall and weird because it's hot out now. It has a really long central stalk. This one, the red salad bowl, is doing quite well in the heat, but it is starting to get tough and bitter. And more importantly, they're starting to shade out the squash and zucchini that we have here. So I think this week should be the last week for the lettuce, and if you still have some in the garden, good opportunity to get rid of it all and clear out space for the squash and zucchini. For the tomatoes, very important to get them now onto the trellis. Hope you can see here. So to get the tomato on the trellis, stretch it over, take the growing end, wrap it around the trellis. You can see my last video for more details on that. And that's basically it. And then you want to take off any suckers. So if you see down here, here's the main central stalk, here's the leaf, and here in between, right here, you have what's called a sucker growing. So we want to just rip off that sucker. If you want to be fancy, you can use scissors, sharp knife, or some kind of garden implement to do that. Here again, sucker. Now if you take all of these extra branches off your tomato, you will get tomatoes faster, they'll ripen faster, and also you won't have a really big, messy tomato garden. You want to keep your tomatoes contained, especially if they're all in the same garden. I have peas still going here. They are quite delicious. I know the pea situation is patchy out there, but if you are lucky enough to have some, then eat them early and often. If you let them get too big, then they will slow the production on the vine, and then they're also not as good to eat. I have a lot of work to do in my tomatoes here. They're getting really out of control. So if your tomatoes look like this, then get to work. For the cucumbers, you see this one I've already put up onto the trellis. They will climb all by themselves, but they do need a little bit of guidance to get over there because they may be growing away from the trellis. This is a tricky situation. I tried to not be sharing pea and cucumber squares, so hopefully you guys don't have this wall of peas by your cucumbers. I think that the sharing of the peas and cucumbers are okay for the tomato, and you just kind of have to find space for it. But know that the peas will be finished soon, and so if you prefer to just rip them out right now to make room for your cucumber and your tomato, since you have to put them on the trellis now, then I encourage you to do so. It's probably a safer bet, to be perfectly honest. So you might miss a couple of snow peas, but you will make room for your other stuff. If you see here, my cabbage is heading up nicely, but its big outer leaves are trespassing over into the other squares. So you can just take off the big outer leaves. Do not throw them away. They're really delicious, sauteed or eaten any way you like to eat greens. Here, I already took off the main central head of the broccoli, and you see here that I have second side shoots that are coming up now. This one is about to flower. See how it's a little bit yellow here in the middle? That means it's about to flower. Whoops, sorry. And so I need to pick that very soon. So if it does go to flower, it's still delicious. You can still eat broccoli with the yellow leaves, kind of like we saw earlier with the rapini that was flowering. Make sure you keep weeds out of the garden. Here we have a beautiful raspberry that's growing up between my cucumber, or my, what is this called? Broccoli and cabbage. Sorry. What else? Oh, my beans have finally taken hold. I'm having some pest problems in my beans, as you see here. This square is doing quite nicely. This is what your beans should look like. If they look more like this, it's probably due to a slug, or mine I think are caterpillars that are getting in there. I haven't been spending enough time looking for green caterpillars that are probably doing that damage. Once the leaves get older, they're less susceptible. You can always plant some more. Here we have my eggplant, lovely eggplant flower. Well, it looks like it's getting some aphids on there. I see an ant running around here bringing some aphids up, so I'll keep an eye on that. Maybe shoot it with some strong jet of water to try and knock off any early ones. Weed. I just let my rocket go to flower because I actually really like the taste of those flowers in a salad. Also, here's the wild rocket, looking really nice. Chop that up on a pizza or in salad if you like it spicy. It's gotten quite spicy in the heat. My Swiss chard is looking pretty good. You'll see here, this is slug damage if you have this. It's due to slugs. I'm kind of just sharing with the slugs because it's they're not too bad this time of year. I have not done anything in terms of pest protection at my garden. If you want to, you can place slug traps, which you can refer to last week's newsletter to see more about the slug traps. Kale, a reminder, just take the big outer leaves, break them off to harvest. This is the red Russian and the curled. Oh, that's a big weed there. All right, now one thing I really wanted to mention, this is my urban flower garden. I dug through because some of the plants really got a better head start than others, and my calendula and my parsley were totally shading out my basil. So what I did is I just kind of got in between them. I dug up the small plants that weren't doing so well, and I just moved them to somewhere else in my yard. If this happened to you, I encourage you to just get in there and transplant anything that's not fitting. If you want some more basil or more of different types of herbs, then you can still find some in the garden center, and I encourage you to plant them. This here is a nice aphid infestation, if you wanted to see what that looks like. I don't know if you can see the ants running up and down, farming the aphids. So all I'm going to do here is just actually break off these stalks and throw them away in the garbage. And then that should keep the population pretty much under control, and any ones left over will be food for my ladybugs. This here, this is getting to be a long video, but stick with me. That's called a parasitic wasp, I think. Anyway, they're very good beneficial insects. They help with pollination, pollinization, and they also are good at eating pests in your garden. So I think I'll wrap it up there. Here we have some snow peas that are getting too big. Have a lovely week, and we'll see you next time.